Hello everybody, I have returned. I have no good reason as to why I was gone, honestly. But in case you didn't read my community post, or nobody does, so I don't even mind, I'm gonna pull up a chair here. Listen guys, ignore that. But I saw this movie twice now, I'm gonna see it a third time. And this is the movie I've been, itching for since, last year. I think I made a video, August of last year. So excited for this. And after I saw the reviews, I definitely, tempered my expectations. And I'm glad I did temper those expectations, because the new expectations I had were met. That it was, a 7 out of 10 kind of movie, right? Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna over-edit this one. I just want to kind of talk, you know? Sorry. It's late. It's always late, you can see. But, so this movie, let me get this out of the way. I genuinely like this movie. I genuinely like most of this movie. And I can understand the people that don't like it. I don't understand the people that, outright hate this thing, because there's a lot to like about it. But there is a fair share amount to dislike about it. So, we are going to cover all of it here. So, I'm going to start with the good stuff. Editing, you put, a good thing right there. Good job. And so, I'm just going to go through this movie, actually, you know what, never mind. I'm going to go through this movie, scene by scene. So, we start with, the opening scene with, the lab and the D-Rex. While, this will have spoilers, by the way. I should have said that, I'm sorry. This video contains full spoilers for the movie. So, if you don't want that, click off. Because I can't give my, full thoughts of this movie without spoiling it, so sorry. You gotta go. You going? Good. Alright. So, this opening scene, it's, the way it's executed is actually incredibly stupid. The guy, so these people are all wearing hazmat suits in a lab and stuff. And then this one guy just, is eating a Snickers bar. Once he finishes it and goes in the enclosure, he just leaves the Snickers wrapper on the ground. It gets sucked into, the door, and the door breaks. And then, somehow that sets off, a chain reaction of, the security system being cooked and stuff. So, the people, they get out of the room, except the one guy, the open the door guy. And granted, this scene was done very well. You could really feel the scale. That's the first big positive of this movie. You could really feel the scale of the dinosaurs and the threat of the dinosaurs compared to the other Jurassic World movies. I would describe this movie as, in simple Jurassic terms, a better Jurassic Park 3. And I will share my ranking. I don't know how long this video is going to be, honestly. I don't want it to be too long. But, so, the guy dies, and there's a very cool title card. Me from the future play this without audio, because Universal's going to copyright this. Crazy if I played any audio, so. Yeah, what was I about to say now? So, we have a little bit of setup, meeting the character, setting up the mission, and here's another, this is a mixed part I have. Zora is not a bad character. I enjoy her. Duncan is not a bad character. I enjoy him. Dr. Loomis is not a bad character. I enjoy him. They all, they all attempt to have backstories that we are supposed to care about. And I commend them for trying to make us care. But they just don't do enough to make us care that much. And I'm going to touch on that not doing enough more later in this review. But long story short, we get on this boat. We're looking for the Mosasaurus now. And then we meet this. Here's my negative. Here's my first negative. This completely useless family named the Delgados. Now, I don't particularly hate any of them, but they're just useless completely. I don't really understand why they really need to be here. I guess they add humanity, but they add practically nothing. If you replace them with any other characters in this story, barely any of the themes, anything would change. But they get attacked by the Mosasaurus, and again, you can really see the scale. And that brings me to another positive. The directing and the cinematography is amazing. Top notch. Gareth Edwards was the perfect guy to do this movie. Because this is just a fun, stupid summer blockbuster. What else could you want? Actually, no, there's a lot else you could want. But we'll get into that later. So, yeah, and I'm just kind of, going off the top of my head summarizing the movie, honestly. The reviews are never structured, but, whatever. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep talking. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't done this in a while. And, let's see, so the mercenary team meets up with the family, and then we get the scene of the Spinosauruses and the Mosasaur attacking the boat. Here's another thing. This one guy starts shooting the Spinosaurus, and you've probably seen this in the trailer. The Spinosaurus, gets him, and then you could actually feel, the impact of his death. It's actually, oh no, one of our teammates just died. You could actually feel that. I appreciate that. The scene's really awesome. Oh, well. That was bad. Awesome. Yeah, but it was really good. And then they dock on the beach, and then one of the NPC characters gets killed by a Spinosaurus on land. And I love, here's a detail I love. I might show this or not, depending on how much editing me wants to edit this. So there's this scene where the Spinosaurus is, he crawls on the land, it's chilling on this rock, and then it sees the girl, and then it sneaks up from behind and just kills her. It's an actual animal. Here's another positive on this movie. These dinosaurs feel like animals. They don't feel like just monsters. Even the monsters don't just feel like monsters. They feel like actual animals. And not just instant killing machines. Not just good guys or bad guys like most of the Jurassic World movies portray. And I appreciate that. So, also on the boat, there's this, he's, the evil corporate pharmaceutical guy, and the older girl, tries to call for help, and, in the mission secret, and the guy's like, no, money, and then he lets her fall off the boat, but then, here's a mixed part of this. In this movie, there's a character named Xavier. He's the boyfriend of the older daughter. I think her name's Teresa or something. I don't really remember. And he's just a bum, a jerk. You're designed to really not like him. And I commend the movie. Really did do a good job of making you hate this guy and want him to die. Yeah, but he goes in and saves her, and then the family splits up from the mercs for a little bit. And then I'm gonna cover this scene first. So the mercenaries, the mercs, the merc team. I'm sorry, I don't even know. I haven't done this in a while. I said that already. I'm repeating myself. What am I doing? I don't know. But the merc team, they go and to collect the Titanosaurus DNA. Alright, I forget. You know what this plot is. Come on, just watch the review. I don't know why I'm saying this to myself. I'm weird. Yeah, but there's a scene with the Titanosaurus where they collect this DNA. And I think this scene is actually really nice. Because, it portrays, this guy's seeing a dinosaur in its habitat for the first time. And he's, wanted to all this time. Kind of like that Alan Grant type of feeling. Not as impactful, obviously. But it's still pretty good. And a little before that, the doctor character, Henry Loomis, actually has a pretty cool monologue about humans causing their own extinction. Kind of a twist. More of a modern twist on it, with climate change and all of that. We're the thing keeping it, we're the thing ruling the earth and keeping it alive, but we're also killing it at the same time. It's a really cool monologue. But then we get back to this family, and we get the river raft scene that we've all been wanting this whole time, right, guys? Yeah. So we get the river raft scene, and it's a really intense scene. You don't care about these characters as much as you do the mercenary team, the main three. You just, you don't get enough from them for you to fully care about them. But just from the directing alone, it's a very fantastic scene. Like, very suspenseful. Like, and then there's the scene later where, like, they're at this fire, this campfire, and then the boyfriend's like, I've been a jerk and stuff because I want to, like, break up with her so she can go to NYU and not, like, worry. So that don't make no sense, but whatever. And then there's this, like, this funny but disrespectful scene to the raptors. So the guy is peeing, right? And then the raptors start to stalk behind him, sneak up behind him. But then suddenly, like, a silhouetted mutodon swoops down and kills the raptors. It's like I want to see the raptors. And then the mutodons, I don't really like them. I like their scene, but I don't really like them. And I'll tell you why. Actually, I'll just tell you why now. There's no reason not to. These easily just could have been raptors. These easily just could have been velociraptors and nobody would have cared. You could have just had the D-Rex as the mutant thing. And that's it. You didn't need a second one. They could have just been raptors. So, yeah. I just wanted to get that out of the way quickly. So, let's see what else now. Okay, the Merc team has to go get the Quetzalcoatlus DNA. And they sprinkle in also the charisma and charismaticness of these characters. I really like. This is like, I'm surprised it's that divisive, like the dialogue and stuff. Like, some of it is stupid and corny, but like, I couldn't help but like it. Like, it was like homey. It was nice. I liked it. Okay, but like they have this like romantic undertone with Dr. Loomis and Zora that they never really fully touch on or fully address for it to be like something, but yeah. And then they go get the Quetzalcoatlus DNA, and there's this, I think this is the most underrated scene of the movie, where the Quetzalcoatlus is trying to kill them, and then one of the NPC characters from the boat, like, distracts it, and he's getting pulled up from the cliff by Duncan, and the money guy, which I'm gonna call him. Like, and the Quetzalcoatlus is like chasing him up the cliff. It's really cool. And then the guy gets swallowed whole. Like, that was, yeah. Like, that was actually a shocking death. Right, and what was I about to say now? Sorry, I'm just going off the top of my head. And remember. Editing me, you can cut this part out. If you want to leave it in, that's fine. Let's cut this part out, though. Oh, yeah, so, like, Dr. Loomis is, like, hanging off this cliff, like, and the rope falls, and he somehow, conveniently, falls into the trees, and then into the water, and survives. And then the DNA sample just falls there, too. That was insanely stupid, but okay. And now we keep trucking along with this movie. You can see that this is going kind of fast. This movie is actually pretty long, but it feels really fast. And now they re-meet with this family in, like, the worker village. And this is where the mutodon scene happens. And they do, like, a twist on the kitchen scene in the original one. But I didn't think it was, like, it wasn't a blatant copy of it, so I didn't really mind it. So, I liked it. I liked it. Very suspenseful, very creepy. Like, I like that too. That this movie, like, when the dinosaurs are creepy, they're creepy. They're actually really creepy and stalking. And the money guy gets away in this Jeep because, like, he, like, grabs the gun and he's like, "Hey guys, come on." He got a gun from, like, this dead guy in a helicopter. And then he was like, "Come on, guys, let's just chill out. I can take all the money, I can take the DNA, and it'll be fine." Like, that character was actually so stupid. I really did not like him. I liked him for how comically stupid he was. Yeah, but then the mutodon scene happens, and then we get the scene of Henry and Duncan being chased by this mutodon into the lab where the D-Rex broke out. And they find this lab and say, "Whoa, it's mutants." And that's it, really. That's basically it. It's like, here's, like, I'm gonna address, like, one of the big main problem with this movie. It introduces so many ideas, but barely, like, it develops or follows up on any of them. It's, like, the most basic thing. It's like, this is a mutant. We could do, like, here's another thing. I forgot to mention this earlier. Zora and Dr. Loomis were talking about the whole time. Why should we just give this stuff to the rich people? Like, to cure heart disease, because a bunch of people won't be able to afford it. Like, if we give this to everyone, it'll be more, like, readily accessible, so everybody can, you know, like, cure heart disease or something. And that was a really cool theme that I thought they could have had, and that could have been expanded on, but it wasn't. It just wasn't. And then the mutants. This is another theme that I think they could have done. Like, these are mutant dinosaurs. They didn't make them this way. They didn't actually be made this way. Like, they're, like, suffering. And they just didn't do that, like, at all, when there's such an easy opportunity to. And then literally every backstory and arc of every character, even the ones I like, same problem. Like, that was very annoying. But anyway, we get to, like, under the tunnels where the mutodon's chasing the family, and then Zora actually kills one of them with a gun, which was very surprising in a good way. Because, like, actually somebody used a gun to kill a dinosaur. Like, what? This franchise? That's insane. But this is where they call it a helicopter. The helicopter comes. But this is an insane scene that I really love. So, like, it's all engulfed in fog and stuff. And then you see the light of the helicopter coming. And then the doctor's like, hey, hey. And then the helicopter gets closer. And then out of the fog, you see the D-Rex, like, chewing this helicopter. Like, and it's insane. And then the people are still alive, they're screaming, and then the D-Rex throws the helicopter and explodes. Like, that insane. Speaking of the D-Rex, I really like what they do with it. But it was kind of unexpected. First of all, is the fact that it did not have a looming presence in the movie. It was literally in these last, like, 10 minutes. That's pretty much it. It just appears in this last 10 minutes. Because it appears in the beginning, like, 5 minutes, and then the ending 10 minutes. You completely forget it exists. Another problem with this movie, every dinosaur feels like a mini boss. Like a boss in a video game. This would genuinely make a great video game. Like, with all the set pieces and stuff. I'm not joking. But you only see every dinosaur once. It's, like, really gimmicky. Like, I didn't like that part, even though the individual scenes are great. And then the money guy gets, like, ripped apart by the D-Rex. That was actually a really cool kill. And then this D-Rex, like, thing is, like, attracted to light, and it's not that intelligent. I don't think, as you'll see in a little bit. So I forgot to mention this. Part of Duncan's backstory is that, like, his son died, and he's really protective of children. So when these two, like, when this young girl and this teenage girl, like, suddenly get intertwined into their mission, he's, like, really protective. So when the little girl's about to get killed by the D-Rex, Duncan grabs a flare and weeds it away, and he seemingly is killed by the D-Rex as the rest of them escape in the boat. And you're like, wow, I actually didn't think the movie would do that. That's, like, actually a really noble sacrifice. Then he just popped out the water a few, like, minutes later. Like, what? Like, that was insanely stupid. Like, if they gave more clarity of how the D-Rex works, like, it would have made a little more sense. But I'm assuming he just threw the flare away and the flare went out and it couldn't see him. Because I think this dinosaur is, like, mentally not completely developed, which would make sense. It would make for a really great theme that they didn't do at all. And then, while they're in the boat, Henry Coombs is like, they have all the DNA now. And they're like, you decide what we do with it. And then Zora's like, we'll give it to everyone. And then the boat drives away from the island, and then the movie just ends so abruptly. No epilogue, no anything. So, that was the movie. Even though I sound really, like, mixed on it, which I kind of am, I'm leaning more towards positive, so I give this movie, like, a 7 out of 10. And here is my ranking of it among all the other Jurassic movies. Put it on the screen. Right there. Yeah. Right there. Okay, what am I doing? But I think the general problem with this movie is just so generally underdeveloped. It's like so safe and basic, where there's so many things they could have done to make it like distinct and not basic. I do like that they took more inspiration from the Jurassic Park movies than Jurassic World. I do appreciate that, more classic feel. But even then, it's like this movie's paper thin almost. It's just like fast food. It's like it's actually paper thin food, but you still enjoy it. So this movie, I have to honestly say it's kind of mid. Okay, sadly I have to say it's actually kind of mid. But it gets another big point simply because of the action set pieces alone. Like, they're amazing. So that was my long-awaited Jurassic World Rebirth review. I know this review is like a little bit weird compared to all my other ones, but like this is my first video in like a month and a half. So I'll get back into like the swing of it, like eventually, because I'm planning to do a very big video where I cover all of the things that I said I would do reviews on, or I just need to do reviews on, and like put them into one big video. I think it's like 8 things. I'll put it on screen right now, all of them. Bang. And then I'm also gonna do a video with ZXR, a Roblox video, where we play Ink Game, and I'm also gonna yap about Ink Game. I mean, not Ink Game, Squid Game Season 3 at the end of that. But I just wanted to give my like general, like, obviously this is a yap session. This isn't structured at all or well edited at all. This is just me wanting to share my thoughts. So, thank y'all for watching this. I'm gonna be back now, I guess. Don't go off. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. Fan in the background here, but I don't really care. But today, actually no, I already did that. But this is post video, post me editing. Actually no, I'm mid editing. I wanted to add this part because first of all, I wanted to review some of the toys I got for this movie, and also just wanted to add on some little stuff that I forgot to mention in the main review. So first, we're gonna start with this T-Rex. Look at this T-Rex. Look how cool. Okay, we're gonna put it in front of the fan here. Cut this and stuff. Look at this T-Rex. Oh, this is like such a great T-Rex toy. It's a very hefty. I nicknamed it Hefty because it's very cool T-Rex. Again, then we have the Quetzalcoatl Atlas. Again, most underrated scene in the movie here. Right. Again, then it has this flimsy but cool feature where it sits like that. Like, this could be like easily like this is good. I can just tap it. Look. Of course, it doesn't want to do it now, but. And then lastly, we have the D-Rex. This one, I love this one. Look at that. Look at that. That's so cool. Hey, we're gonna have that as the background for the rest of what I'm about to say. Which is not much, but still. So, already, this thing's made well over $300 million worldwide, I believe. And I think like 180 something million in the US. But this movie's gonna make bank, and they're gonna make another sequel. So what did they do in that case? In the inevitable case, I honestly have no idea. To be honest, I have completely no idea what you would even do now. So do whatever. Jurassic got the options open. they told David Kep to make the script. He made the script. They made a bunch of changes to streamline it and make it really safe. And then they rushed into production and released it within a year of it rushing into production. Within a year of them starting to film. Like, they filmed in July. They started filming in July 2024. The movie was out in July 2025. So they like fast-tracked this movie. They really fast-tracked it. And they probably made it because all the themes, because I know David Kep is a competent writer because he wrote the first two Jurassic Park movies, which are the best ones. So, like, I know he's a competent writer and he can make better themes than that. So I believe that the studio had a lot of those themes that I was talking about that they could have expanded on. I think they were possibly in there. This is all hypothetical, by the way. None of this. They could all be possibly in the original script, but then Universal said, like, cut this out. This is like, or for lack of a better term, this is too thematic. This is too deep. Like, make this more basic. Make this more streamlined. We don't got time for that. So he did what they told, and then they fast-tracked the movie. I think that's what happened. I feel like that can explain some problems. And then there's a week that, like, the D-Rex were gonna fight. The D-Rex was gonna fight the Spinosaurus because the D-Rex does not die. It chases the boat off of the island for a little bit, and then it just, like, kind of chills. After that, it just lets them leave. But what was I about to say? There's a leaked ending of the, like, a rumored ending of the D-Rex fighting the Spinosaurus past and getting, like, jumped. And a lot of people firmly believe that's what was going to be in the movie. And I wouldn't put it past them that a big dinosaur fight was in the movie originally, but they decided to, like, differentiate it from the rest of the Jurassic World trilogy because they really want to, like, disconnect themselves from the Jurassic World trilogy because they see that as a, like, failure. Not financially, of course not financially, but, like, they see that, like, this is not what the fans want. They want this, and even this, a lot of people really don't like. So they cut the big dinosaur fight at the end. That was probably in the original script. They cut a lot of stuff from the original script, I think, and that is, I think, part of the reason why a lot of this movie is really mixed for me. Again, I overall like this too, but I wanted to add that part. So that is that's the real end of the video now. Again, do a Squid Game video, mega yap session with like 8 things. I think I put them on the screen already of what they're gonna do. And then I'm gonna try and keep up to date with news and stuff. So that's it. Actually actually subscribe, actually do all that stuff this time. And watch FNAF at home because I worked really hard on that last year. And I'm trying to do Jurassic Park at home, but honestly I don't think it will be the highest quality as I wanted to, just because of like basic restrictions I have regarding of how I'm gonna do it. So it probably won't be like as like immersed, like you know how, like, I'm sorry, but I have to get this for a second. You know how, like, FNAF at home, I made like a whole pizzeria set? That's not happening this time. Like, I will save all that work for FNAF 2, but I still want to make this movie, even if I'm just gonna, like, film it in my house, and you're just gonna see stuff in my house. I don't really care. I just want to do it. Yeah, but that's actually it now. So, bye.